morning.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-magab, it's time for the only news that matters. The late Lemmy Kilmister from Motörhead was truly a one-of-a-kind, unique character. On the one hand, he was the ultimate hard rocker, but Lemmy also preferred nothing more than headbanging to Swedish pop sensation ABBA. Although he lived a reckless, hedonistic lifestyle and could drink anybody under the table, Lemmy had a softer side too. He was a tender soul and a nuanced character that couldn't be pigeonholed into a singular box. When Lemmy was interviewed in 2014 by the Huffington Post, he was asked to reveal the most surprising fact about himself, which prompted the musician to say, "One of my favorite bands is ABBA." While this may sound like a lie from Lemmy, it was verified by the actor W.E. Brown in 2016. While speaking to SiriusXM, Brown recalled, "He turned to me at one point and goes, 'Earl, have you ever listened to ABBA?' And I think he's pulling my leg, so I'm like, 'Fuck no.' And he said, 'Well, you missed out on the greatest set of pop melody outside of Lennon and McCartney.' Zach Throne, do you know any ABBA?" Zach goes, "Yeah, Fernando." So he starts playing and Lemmy is singing. And I kind of have this moment like, holy shit. It's Sunday morning, I'm drunk, and I'm listening to Lemmy sing ABBA. The only crying shame from this encounter is that no footage exists of Lemmy singing ABBA. And we'll have to use our imagination for that. Thankfully, Brown's accounts confirmed that Motörhead's frontman was deadly serious when he declared his love for the Swedish pop stars. And that's enough to nourish my soul. Yeah, there you go, man. Yeah, hell yeah. I love ABBA too. And that was before I found out Lemmy loved them. And Richie Blackmore loves them. And Gene Simmons loves them, and Halloween loves them, and I can go on and on and on, you know. I'm not alone. Sure, I get goofed on, by, the elitist metalheads, but, all you elitist metalheads, you ain't a pimple on Lemmy's warts, right? That's what I think. But, it's cool if you don't like ABBA and all, but really? You gonna make fun of a band Lemmy loved? What the hell's wrong with you? And I agree with Lemmy 100%. The greatest pop after the Beatles is ABBA. ABBA's right there really with the Beatles. The Beatles is perfect, the greatest band ever in my opinion. But as far as like pop music and all that, ABBA's right up there. ABBA's right up there with the Beatles as the greats to me, man. It's the Beatles and ABBA, just like Lemmy said, man. I agree with that 100%. Like, I think ABBA are just geniuses. The way they intertwine the music and the vocals. And my God, man, they were impressive. Impressive songwriters that I can't get enough of. I listen to ABBA almost every week. I don't think a week goes by where I can't listen to ABBA. I have to listen to a little ABBA, man. At least an album, And sometimes I just go nuts. And I go like weeks with just listening to ABBA. It's just makes me feel good. It's like the ultimate feel-good music. To me is ABBA, It's just so pure and beautiful and musically intriguing to me. I can't get enough of ABBA, And to hear Lemmy love it, I'm like, yeah, there you go. You may not like ABBA, but me and Lemmy do. But yeah, I'm kind of goofing around too, because a lot of stuff that Lemmy liked that I didn't like. I'm not a fan of Chuck Berry or Little Richard. Lemmy loves that stuff. But hey, he also loves ABBA. And yeah, when I was a little kid, I knew ABBA. And I didn't like it because I was a little kid and dumb. Back then it was all about death before disco and, you know. I just like, you know, I was into Aerosmith, Ted Nugent, Black Sabbath, Frank Marino, Kiss. Before Kiss went disco, by the way. And Oyster Cult and all that stuff. So I couldn't be bothered by the ABBA stuff. And, you know, I think it all stemmed from my friend owned the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. And I took it home, I listened to it, and I fucking hated it. This is garbage. And ever since that day, I've been on a mission to hate on disco. But now looking back on it, I love the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. And by the way, there's a band on that soundtrack called THRASH. And the singer of THRASH's name is Ralph VIERA, just like my name. But man, the song, How Deep Is Your Love? That song comes on my iPod and I have to play it at least 6 times. It's like the only song in the history of music that I listen to and I have to listen to it over and over, at least 6 times. Sometimes even over 6 times. I know one time I even went up to 12 times. And I'm saying like one right after the other, no break. There's just something about How Deep Is Your Love. It's up there with the ABBA and the Beatles as far as writing a perfect song. Because that's what, you know, ABBA did and the Beatles did. They did perfection, you know. And the way I got into ABBA is in the 90s I had the CD ABBA Gold. And I'm telling you, like through the whole 90s. I played that CD like crazy, but I never ever went and looked into the other stuff. You know, the tracks that didn't make it on the Gold, like, you know, the albums. And it was like in the 2000s, I got into one of my crazy ABBA kicks again. A little later 2000, maybe 2008, 9. I started buying all ABBA. Like I got, it's like this little box set that has every single ABBA CD in it. You know, starting with, what was the name of that? Was it Waterloo? No, Ring Ring. Ring Ring, Waterloo, ABBA, Arrival, ABBA the Album, Voulez-Vous, Super Trooper, The Visitor. And it was all in there, and that's how I got into it. And then gradually, throughout the years, I ended up getting all these ABBA albums on vinyl, including the last one that came out in 2021 called Voyage, which is a awesome, beautiful album. Absolutely love it. The first time I heard I Still Have Faith in You and Agnieszka came into that song, that part, I lost it, man. It was so fucking beautiful. And the song Ode to Freedom, amazing song, man. But then you had, like, you know, the ABBA album, like Ring Ring and Waterloo, and to some extent ABBA. Those 3 albums did have, you know, some kind of goofy ass pop songs like King Kong and stuff like that, you know. It wasn't until Arrival. It was Arrival, and then the album, then Voulez-Vous, then Super Trooper, then The Visitor, and even Voyage. You know, they all, that to me was like pure ABBA. Just a lot of ABBA all through it, starting at Arrival. But ABBA, the self-titled album, had SOS on it, which is one of the greatest ABBA songs. So they were finding their way, and I just love it, man. I love ABBA. I cannot get enough of ABBA. What do you all think of ABBA? Even if you hate them, let me know in the comments below. And, you know, the whole thing with Lemmy, you know. Lemmy was a guy that was really into chicks in music, too. Because he, like, you know, he was always behind, like, Wendy O. Williams, Girls School, Lita. He wrote songs with Lita Ford. A lot of pictures with him and Joan Jett. Skunk and Nancy. I mean, there's a lot of girls that Lemmy was always, supportive of them all, So, there's girls in ABBA, so I see. But then again, ABBA did release music that, Lemmy said it himself, the Beatles and ABBA, those are the two most greatest pop music invented, and I agree with them. Do you agree with them, or do you disagree with them? Leave it in the comments below, and thank you so much, everybody, for watching The Only News That Matters. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I would appreciate that, and ring that little notification bell. And please like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to ABBA and Motörhead and Black Sabbath and Smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies.
Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.